Apartment dwellers of Reddit, what secrets have you learned about your neighbors through your paper-thin walls? My next-door neighbor used to constantly break up with her boyfriend and have loud sobbing phone calls with her friends late at night. One time a friend even called the police because he was worried she would kill herself. I saw the police walking down the hall as I was coming home and they thought I was her at first, then they went into her apartment and spoke for 30 minutes about love, pills, and the importance of staying resilient in the face of breakups. The officer was a great guy, but I heard way too much. Edit. Herself, not herselves. Autocorrect fucked me on this one. Edit 2. I can confirm that nothing romantic went down between her or the cop. He was a sweet, fatherly kind of guy who gave a sad young girl a patient ear when she was upset. She's now back with the BF and their relationship became healthier after, I assume, she took the cop's advice to heart. My upstairs neighbor is a fast learner. About a year ago he started practicing basic scales on his sax. Now he's jamming out up there and I'm really into it. Edit. A lot of people are telling me to let him know how good he is. I'm a studio producer/musician myself, and my plan is to eventually ask him to join me in the studio. I'll record him jamming out, and then make something cool out of it. We'll release it if he wants to. Edit 2. God damn, I did not expect this to get so much attention. Thanks. To everyone saying I should hurry up and ask the guy right away, here's the thing, I'm releasing an album this summer and a single right after that. Then, I'm getting my bachelor's degree in music production, so my schedule is pretty fucking packed for a year or so. However, I'm thinking I probably should just talk to him about it soon anyway just to make sure he's up for it, then I'll get back to him when my schedule has cleared up a bit. Everyone in favor say, "Ye boy." Yes. And ask Reddit I have a good story for. So, I used to live in this very hip, loft-style apartment building. It attracted a lot of young people. The people in the apartment next to me were college students. The walls were so thin if they were having a conversation on speakerphone in their living room I could hear 75% of the conversation. It sucked, but once you got used to it, it wasn't a huge deal. One night a friend and I come back, rather late, from a night at my local watering hole and we can hear the guy next door getting lucky. We both giggle to ourselves but whatever, good for him. I go into my room to crash and my buddy hits the couch. A few seconds later we both hear as clear as day a girl's voice saying, "I won't lick your asshole but I will give you head." My buddy and I both start laughing our asses off. Dude next door pounds a few times on the wall and yells, "Hey man, give me some space." Good times. The woman next door has a relationship with her cat that's interesting. She's a recluse in her mid-40s. Nothing wrong with that, but she doesn't seem to be handling it well. She treats it like a human, and I'm not talking about how much she loves it. Her relationship with it plays out as if he were an actual family member, dynamics and all. They have fights. A lot. Mostly, she feels that he neglects her feelings and doesn't appreciate how much time she puts into being at work and doing all of the housework. She wishes he would at least help take the trash out. And when she has sexy time with herself, she doesn't understand why he complains about having to go outside. Last night they had another fight, but I got home late, so I don't know what it was about. She spent about an hour throwing things, and eventually kicked him out for a while. It's weird. Here's a fun story. Husband and I moved into a townhouse. Old building from 1920, brick walls between units. We didn't hear a thing from the neighbors. Like literally no sounds at all. We weren't even sure anyone was living next door until we met them because it was so quiet. So, we figured the soundproofing was excellent. Husband and I were never quiet. We had no reason to be. We have 2 a.m. dance parties in our kitchen screaming to Outkast as loud as we possibly could. Then, the neighbors moved out and a new couple moved in. The second they showed up, we heard everything they did. Every single quiet conversation, every time someone closed a cabinet, every tiny sound we heard. It was not soundproof. The first couple was just incredibly quiet and we were huge, gigantic assholes. It's been years and I still feel bad. Late to the game on this one. My neighbor was a police officer. No idea what his wife did. Every night he started drinking when he got home. Usually turned into a screaming fight at 8 o'clock. Sounded like plates etc. being broken. Maybe actual fighting by 9:30. Asleep, passed out, by 10 o'clock, 10:30. I used to joke to my wife that relationship was going to end in a homicide investigation. One night, after 2 hours of fighting, they're screaming at each other and bang. Definite gunshot. My wife is out of country, just me in the apartment. I grab my cell phone and dial 911. Then I can hear her crying, but I can't hear him. As I'm talking to 911, she runs out of the apartment and drives away. I'm trying to describe the car when the police show up. Turns out she just put a hole in the wall to scare him. He was drunk but very much alive. She moved out the next day. He stayed for like 3 months. I'm guessing to finish the lease. I don't think anyone was ever charged with anything. Apartment below me. He is about 30, borders on neckbeard and wears one of these type of hats with a skull print zip hoodie from Walmart circa 2009. Probably works at a call center, secret. He is having far more exceptional sex than anyone would expect. She's a 24-year-old nurse, pale brunette and probably a 5. She visits for 3 days each week and they will usually go at it at least 4 times a day, often more. She wails at full volume, no filter, and they shake the entire building. You can feel literally every thrust. To the degree that I actually begin to feel motion sickness from it at this point. That I actually have audio recording of how loud they are. It's horrifically embarrassing when my family is over. Once, my mom and dad, sheltered country people, visited and were entirely convinced she was being raped, so while I was at work they went to the sheriff's office in person and formally reported a rape. He's an entrepreneur and aspiring reality TV star. Seriously, what kind of person actually wants to be on a reality show? I know everything about him because he paces around and talks on the phone literally all day long. I work from home, so I hear him all day. Pretty much all he does is complain and talks in a loud, whiny voice and sounds like he's about to start crying like a little kid. He never stops talking, so I really want to know who he's talking to because there's never a break where another person could respond, and who wants to hear this whiny shit all day anyway. Maybe he's just talking into a tape recorder. It's always about people who wronged him, and about how hard he works. He gets all sassy. I said, "Oh no, I am not giving you a ride when I'm busy working so hard." I found him on Facebook and he lists his location as Manhattan. I do not live in Manhattan. I'm tempted to Facebook message him with a live transcription of what he's saying.